Black men are lacking sexual discipline because black women are too available.
Do you know what discipline is? This is who you need to be talking to, by the way. You don't need to be talking to black men.
If I can't get that day, I quit. Because you're not the virgin married, right? And somebody you that day before. Why can't it be me?
So you telling me that that's not a bigger problem, that message? You blaming black women for that message?
A faithful man go against his nature every time he go outside. It's in us to hunt. Like, we could see something, don't like it or nothing, and we just want it.
I can never even form my lips to start talking about how women contribute to any of these issues when men are running around here talking like this and behaving like this. How can y'all be serious at, like, how can you take yourself seriously at this point? Like, getting on the internet and blaming women for all your problems, like, men have no accountability whatsoever. Men have no accountability whatsoever. And it's very annoying because, per the usual, men are running around here talking about how women can't take accountability for anything. I'm very confused. I am so very confused at how a man could fix his lips to ever blame women for what he does with his body. Like, how are you blaming women for what you choose to do with your body? I don't understand that for the life of me. But here y'all go doing it.
Black men are lacking sexual discipline because black women are too available. A couple weeks ago, I had made some.
What? Let me hear that again.
Black men are lacking sexual discipline because black women are too available. A couple weeks ago, I had made some content where I.
Do you know what discipline is? Do you know what? All right, before we even get into this, I just want to say this before we even start this. Blaming black women for black men's lack of sexual discipline is crazy in and of itself. But the thing that I find crazier is the fact that y'all will call women hoes, right? For having a high body count, which nobody knows what that is. It's totally subjective. So you would call women hoes, 304s, whatever, right? For having a high body count. But you won't acknowledge the fact, if we're talking about discipline, that women are exceedingly more disciplined, exponentially more disciplined than men are. Because if you look at the numbers, if you look at how much sex is offered to women or available for women and how little they take advantage of it, even the hoes, even the women who you call hoes, like, even if a woman had 100 bodies, right? If she slept with 100 men, she could have slept with 10,000. You see what I'm saying? Even if she slept with 100, she could have slept with 10,000. If she slept with 50, she could have slept with 5,000. If a man sleeps with 100 women, he's sleeping with, like, almost all the women he encounters, with, like, all the, you know what I mean? Like, he's sleeping with, the percentage is so much higher. Like 300, maybe he could have slept with 500, but he slept with 100. You see what I mean? Like, it's not even fucking close. Women practice way more discipline than men. They have way more access to male bodies than men have access to female bodies. So for a man to get up here and that be the thing he says is the reason why men lack discipline or black men lack discipline is crazy. Because my point is, then explain black women's discipline. Because black women can sleep with 10,000 black men if they wanted. Like, the average black woman can sleep with 10,000 black men if they wanted to. Famous, rich, poor, middle, don't matter. Married, not married, single, 10 baby mamas, no baby mama. They have their choice to sleep with. Because you're just talking about sleeping with, right? Okay, cool. To sleep with men, they can sleep with, the average black woman can sleep with 10,000 men easily. Will Chamberlain numbers, easily, if she wanted to. Crazy.
instructed black women to reconsider their relationships with black men, and in many cases stop having relationships with them at all. Prior to this transmission, I had sort of outlined a lot of the challenges that black men face. It's very uphill for us to practice sexual discipline, and sexual discipline is important for men, especially because a lot of us won't fully actualize until we learn to do so, and we won't be able to have and maintain healthy relationships until we learn sexual discipline. But the decks are stacked against us, and I rolled out this content to provide context, not so much excuses, because there's work that needs to be done on both sides. But because men are not as emotionally resilient as women, the onus, in my belief, in many ways, is on women to.
Did you hear what he said? That's the only time he'll say something true. Men are less emotionally resilient, right? But emotionally stable. Men have less self-control than women. That's essentially what he's saying. But instead of him addressing that, he's blaming women for not having more control. Which again, I don't understand how women haven't been proving that they are actually the ones that exercise self-control way more than men, because they have way more access to men than men have to women.
In many ways, is on women to address this deficiency. And the best way they can do that is by divesting from most black men. Black women's availability to men has in many ways created a monster. And try to make this analogy quick, but like my mom bought me my first car when I was 16. I had the car for maybe a year and a half, and then I ran it into a ditch because my friends were throwing pennies in my windshield, and rather than like stop, I was trying to evade them, and I fucked that car up. Before I graduated high school, my brother got me a Monte Carlo Z34. Eventually, got drunk, and I didn't total that car. I was able to drive it back home, but then my dad gave me a new car, and then eventually he went and bought me another car. And it flash forward a couple of cars later, it wasn't until I got my first really nice car and I got fired at the same time. I like damaged the fender on the car, damaged the trunk on the car, and the car was not really driving well because I drove the shit out of it. But at this point in my life, I was paying the car note, I was paying the insurance, and to have a high car note and high insurance because you ruined your scores, then I had a different appreciation for having nice things. And through the love and support of my family, they had unintentionally created a monster because they were giving me things without a real cost to me attached to it. Because somewhere in the back of my mind, I knew that if I fucked this up, that they would bail me out. But until I got into a position where I no longer had someone to bail me out, and I had a constant reminder of my lack of discipline and my bad behavior, that's when I started to redress the way I spent my money and how I was taking care of my things.
So your family actually didn't have anything to do with it. It was the natural consequences that had something to do with it. Correct? It was the natural consequences of your actions that changed you. You're asking women to abstain from men to help train men to be better. So you're putting the onus on the woman as opposed to putting the onus on the man, which it ain't gonna make the man grow, by the way. It's just gonna make him more resentful, to be honest with you. I'm talking about in general. I don't think that it is, I don't think that women need to do the work for men. I don't, you're contradicting your point in my estimation. Essentially, what happened with you is you had to come to the realization that you needed to respect your things more. So you had to do the work. You had to come to that realization. And it took some level of natural consequences to kind of get you there. Okay, fine. But you still had to do the work. Nobody else can do the work for you. Nobody else can do the work for you. And your family could have talked to you about these things, early on, but they didn't. It sounds like they never even addressed it, right? But the women are addressing what's going on. The women are actually addressing the issue and talking about how men need to practice restraint and men need to not manipulate and coerce and so on and so on and so on. Women are talking to the men. The men aren't listening though. You dig what I'm saying? So women are doing more than their fair share of work. It ain't that they got work to do on both sides. Women are doing too much labor as it is, and that may be a part of the problem. But that's not for women to fix. That's for men to fix. Because men could just simply start listening to women. You know what I mean? And then we'll be all the better for it tomorrow.
How this relates to the topic at hand is that black women are so available to black men that they have almost no incentive to correct their behavior. So because you are always there to be a battery pack and a source of sex, black men will continue to be monsters. This doesn't apply to all black men, but it applies to most of us. For that reason, this is why I offered the candid feedback to women. It wasn't necessarily to have an opportunity to, slick diss black women. It's just you are if you are in any way holding out for black men or being celibate, you are on a fool's errand. We have a lot of inner work to do, but I don't think much of that can be done for us as a collective until the best thing that we have going for us is no longer available.
I also want to say that the natural consequences are happening. Black women are choosing to not be in relationships with men, black, white, or otherwise. They're choosing not to have children. The birth rate is down. Black women are already doing the thing that you are saying that they should do. So you don't need to address them. You should spend all of your time talking to black men if that's who you want to speak to. To me, this is, again, I take this as pandering, but that's me. Uh, but I don't care. Like, I know a bunch of people will agree with that and all that stuff. I know, trust me. I can already hear it. Like, no, he kind of got a point, and that's fair. If you, but y'all want to do that, fine. I'm just saying the thing that I don't like is when men, this is disingenuous, and it's the message is dangerous, especially coming from a black man. Like, you're blaming black women for black men lacking self-discipline, right? This is who you need to be talking to, by the way. You don't need to be talking to black women. These are the black men you need to be addressing.
If I can't fuck you that day, I quit. Because you're not the Virgin Mary, right? And somebody fucked you that day before. Why can't it be me? Right? And it's up to a man of how he play the game if he can fuck that day. Because the first moment, you heard me, when a woman see you, she knows she's gonna give you some pussy. Period. No matter who you are. A woman can look at you, hear you talk for 5 minutes, and know if she's gonna give you some pussy or not. A woman don't wait on giving a man no pussy. She already knows she gonna give you the pussy. She already know.
So
Facts.
So you telling me that that's not a bigger problem, that message? You blaming black women for that message? For men thinking like this? That's a black woman's fault. Like, why? He's a fucking predator, right? That's a dangerous message to be pushing to young black men, old black men, whatever. And then you got other groups of black men out here rationalizing this sick ass shit.
a faithful man go against his nature every time he go outside. It's in us to hunt. Like, we could see something, don't like it or nothing, and we just want it.
It's in a man's nature to hunt. It's in a man's nature to hunt. Predatory. Literally describing men as predators. Rationalizing it. Justifying it. Then at the same time, trying to give men a cookie for not being a predator. Like, oh yeah, I mean, you going against your nature every day. Like, what the fuck? Good job, black man. Good job, man. You're not a predator today. I can never even form my lips to start talking about how women contribute to any of these issues when men are running around here talking like this and behaving like this.
Like, shit, like, I don't think y'all get how hard that is. But if a nigga go against that shit every day, nigga share that location with you, you got past calls to phone, we leave it around you, no problem, make you feel secure, you know what I'm saying? Man doing all that, you need to honor that man, you need to cherish him, you got you one. He a real one.
Bare minimum, a man making his woman feel secure and not treating his woman like a piece of meat and other women like a piece of meat. You got to respect him. You got to give him all the pussy he want all the time on command and never question him and cook for him. And you already know that's what all this shit coming with. Just if a woman finds a man that treats her like a human being, she needs to bend over backwards for him.
That man doing the best that he possibly can. Now you gotta meet your, as long as he provide and all that too now. But that faithful shit, you know for a fact, or at least you got a strong inclination that he's not. That man, him.
You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. And this is why I'm here. I'm here for women, for men. Like I'm here just to talk to men. Because these aren't we're not having the same discussions. Black women choosing to sleep with black men and choosing to be in relationships with black men is not the problem. That may be the problem for them. That's why I won't address it, because that to me is a personal choice. That's not for me to tell women or black women specifically, don't be in a relationship with a man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like that's my place at all as a man. I acknowledge that most men are not worth being with, though. You see what I'm saying? That's what I speak to. I'll give the women the information they need to help them make that decision for themselves personally. But I'm not going to be the one to be like, y'all need to do this. And I'm not going to do that. That's not my place. My place is to talk to men and black men specifically and say, hey, you know that lie that you're perpetuating about black women, blaming them for men being hoes, for men being predators? It's crazy, because this man just said it's in our nature. So how are you blaming black women? How are you blaming a gazelle for getting devoured by a lion when this man just said we're predators? You see what I mean? That doesn't make sense. Talk to the predators who aren't really predators, who shouldn't be predators, but talk to the predators. Say, hey, predator, you know you don't need to prey on people, right? Fish are friends, not food. You know you can do that. You can talk to men about that. You don't need to talk to women about that. It's harmful.